In other news, vote counting is underway in South Korea's first local election since Lee Jae Myung became president last year. Major gains are expected for his ruling Democratic Party. Exit polls project victory in 11 of 16 mayoral and provincial posts. More than 44 million people were eligible to vote. The Election Commission says turnout was at a record high of more than 60%, the highest since the first local elections in 1995. CNA's senior correspondent Lim Yun Suk has more on those numbers.
There were some signs that turnout exceeded expectations in some areas. In Seoul's Songpa district, apparently officials were running short of ballot papers, and so they were bringing in additional supplies. Now, many analysts are saying that this high turnout could be seen as a sign that voters are becoming more engaged and seeing this election as carrying this greater political significance. Now, we also saw a record high of more than 23% during the 2 days of early voting, suggesting that many South Koreans were highly motivated to cast their ballots. Now, analysts saying that part of the reason is that these elections are being viewed as the first major electoral test of President Lee Jae Myung's administration since it took office last year. And so voters were not only, choosing mayors and governors, but they are sending this strong, a broader political message about the direction of where they want to see the country going. Now, several closely watched areas, including here in Seoul, have also helped drive this interest, with candidates focusing heavily on issues such as housing and the economy.
Another issue in focus during the election, the growing number of foreign residents allowed to vote. It has reached a record high as the immigrant population grows. Yun Suk explains the controversy surrounding the issue.
In South Korea's June 3rd elections, naturalized citizen Kang Kwang-bin campaigned for a seat on the local district council in Seoul's Taerim-dong. It's home to one of the country's largest ethnic Chinese communities. Mr. Kang's candidacy drew attention to a little-known feature of the electoral system, one that has gained renewed attention in recent years. South Korea allows foreign nationals with permanent residency to vote in local elections, which is unusual in Asia. To qualify, voters must be at least 18 years old and have held permanent residency for at least 3 years. In this election, more than 151,000 foreign residents were eligible to vote. That's up from about 6,700 in 2006 when the system was first introduced. Local governments and campaigns produced multilingual materials to reach foreign residents more directly. Gyeonggi Province, for instance, issued voter information posters in 13 languages, including English, Chinese, Vietnamese, and Nepali. The effort reflects a broader attempt to engage an increasingly diverse electorate.
또 오래 생활해서 영주권을 딴 거거든요. 우리가 우리 손으로 뽑을 수 있고, 열심히 우리를 위해서 뛰어주신 분들 뽑는 게 우리가 사는데, 우리 하나의 발언권을 주잖아요. 그러면 당연히 투표권이 있어야 된다고.
그냥 안 하겠어 일만 해달라니까 그런데 잘 모르고 있는데 아무리 나와서든 간에 그래서 잘만 해주면 좋겠어요.
But the issue has become increasingly controversial in recent years. Critics argue that voting rights should be tied to nationality and reciprocity, pointing out that South Koreans living in countries such as China and Japan largely do not enjoy similar rights. And public opinion surveys suggest many South Koreans agree. A recent poll found nearly 7 in 10 are opposed to giving voting rights to foreign nationals from countries that do not offer Koreans the same right. The debate has focused particularly on Chinese nationals who, according to the National Assembly Budget Office, accounted for nearly 80% of eligible foreign voters in previous local elections.
제 개인적인 관점은 중국인의 수가 늘어감에 따라 이 이슈가 더 촉발된 것은 분명하다라고 생각을 합니다. 이게 왜냐하면 최근에 한국인들의 특히 반중 감정이 엄청나게 늘어났습니다.
But Professor Kim says the broader question is how South Korea manages immigration as it grapples with an aging population and a declining birth rate.
이 논의의 초점을 특정 국가의 중국에게 맞추지 말고 우리가 어떤 이민 사회로 나아갈 것인가라고 하는 좀 더 거대 담론에서의 사회적 논의들이 좀 건설적으로 이루어질 수 있으면.
With South Korea expected to rely increasingly on immigration to offset demographic decline, the debate over who gets a say in local politics is unlikely to disappear anytime soon. Lim Yun Suk, CNA, Seoul.